On the 8th day of Christmas, my true love sent to me 8 maids a milking, 7 swans a swimming, 6 geese a laying, 5 gold rings, 4 calling birds, 3 fairies and 2 turtle doves, and a partridge in a pear tree. I have to sing it with me because I don't want to be the only daft lass. I had to look up the maids of whatever, milking. So milk, maybe you have to drink more milk if you're lacking in calcium especially. But nowadays I think they take all the good bits out of it, to be fair. So, as usual then, we're going to take an Ogham card and we're going to take, well, the G's silent, so it's OM actually. But an OM card and 3 cards for past, present and future, or the situation, the right course of action and the outcome. You decide because you'll know what your situation is. There's the Ogham. It's reversed, but we don't really do reversals, but we will take note that it is reversed. So 3 cards, Spirit, please. Whatever you desire to tell us for today. 8 maids a milking. In the old days, you could have been one of 8 sisters. For all I know. Oh, there's the mother. Demeter. There's impatience. So, stop waiting around. All work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. You or your child or your inner child want to go out and play. You can't keep slogging your guts out, working yourself into the ground because you're going to make yourself ill. It's been for at least 8 years. You are growing through pain. This is mother energy. She could be in the spirit or the living. Mothers, mother-in-laws, mothers of your children. She's not pregnant, this one, but she is representative of the military, agriculture, growth more than anything, and happiness after you grow. It's reaping the rewards. 3 and 30. Abigail, Natasha, Elaine, Greg, Josh, all could be important. So Remembrance Day, November the 11th, May the 31st, whenever you remember your fallen. But 3 and 30 is the number, and this is happiness. No more patiently waiting to find it. You're going to stop waiting around for it to come to you and find it yourself by coming home to who you truly are after the battle, because you need to realise that you're wasting your time, energy, breath and effort on something that's not worth it. You're becoming a slave to the money. And there we have it. Oi. There can't be any closer than that, can they? Oi, you. So it's about family, relationships, community and connections, or the lack thereof, because it's in the reverse. So let's have a look then. So family, 2 families merging as well sometimes with that one. It's about growing. It's about finding growth. Oi. Oi. The spindle tree, I think. This is, again, one of those that isn't in here. And I have no idea why. I think it might be a different deck, so we need 2 cards. So the spindle we will look up in a minute, but we will go for this second card. A staircase. So a mother may have fallen on a staircase. That's maybe how she passed. Or you came home to someone falling on the staircase. Something to do with the staircase. Spindles. Spinning wheels maybe. Sleeping Beauty. So pull one more and then I'll see what the spindle means in the arm. Let's have a look. So the Ogham alphabet Oyer is the name of the symbol of fuse associated with a spindle tree. The photonic value of Oi. It's known for its hard, fine-grained wood, which was traditionally used to make bobbins and spindles for spinning and weaving, linking the tree to crafts, connections and creation. And she is there very much the mother creator. So you're creating something. The spindle tree encourages finishing tasks and meeting your obligations to move forwards. Its sudden insights and clarity. It is associated with a flash of lightning bolt and the rapid attainment of enlightenment or awen. It represents the inner peace and delight found after achieving a worthwhile goal or putting in one's best efforts, and that's what you've been doing. Fate and sudden change, unexpected external changes in one's life. Like the process of weaving, it can signify establishing connections between different aspects of life or people. So, new connections. Let's see what the book has to say. The Witch Hazel. Aye, oi, aye. Amahanchal. Cleansing and purification. So cleanse yourself. Witch Hazel. Don't tell me this is another. I know we've got Hazel. So where is it? Hawthorne Oak. Hazel, there it is. 91. Coll. Witch Hazel there may be a separate one. We shall see. 91. I'm just going to have a look. I'll pause it and see if there is another Hazel in here. There is, but it's still cold, so that's okay. It is the 9th moon, which is Sagittarius. It's placed on the hand, the first joint of the ring finger. So Leo. The colour brown, the stone, the branded red agate. We've had this week. The crane, which is a very spiritual bird. The goddess Nemesis, so your enemy. Minerva, Sophia Olwyn, symbol of wisdom, and the salmon, so again Leo. Message, return to source, so go home, come home to who you truly are. The musical note of D, and the planet Mercury, so communication. So call home immediately, check on your mum. Word Ogham, wisdom's fairest of trees, friends of nutshells, sweetest tree, the chestnut bud. Hazel is the 9th month tree. The nut is a symbol of concentrated wisdom. The letter call was used in Bardic number 9, 9 being sacred to the muses, and also because of the hazel tree's fruits after 9 years. It gives its name to God, McCall's is a shop where I come from. In the Fenian legend of the ancient dripping hazel, the hazel appears as a tree of wisdom that can be put to destructive uses, and ancient Irish heralds carried white hazel wands. And for some teenagers, witch hazel is very good for pimply faces. Cleansing. Its magical properties. Planet, the sun, element air, deities Mercury, Thor, so Thursday, Artemis, Diana, powers, luck, fertility, and anti-lightning. It said about that in the read, didn't it? Protection, wishes, nut strings used to hang on the tree. I might do some of them. Give the bride to wish her good fortune. When eaten, they give wisdom and fertility. To protect yourself outside, draw a circle in the dirt with a hazel twig. Weave hazel twigs into a crown for luck or to introduce invisibility. Place hazel in the window to guard against lightning. Hazel is also used for dowsers and magic wands. It is the tree of divination, of the feminine inspired wisdom. There's the divine feminine. With wands of arbitration, hazel represents the natural law, that of human rhythm in response to lunar rhythm. The witch's broomstick should have a shaft of hazel, and the dowsing rod should be made of hazel. Hazel represents distillation of the pure and concentrated essence of anything. So a pure mother. So Mary, perhaps. Especially knowledge. It is the essence of use of a language of communication, the mystery of how ideas are formed and realized in consciousness. It is from this ultimate source that creative energy is produced. It is the essence of all truth and beauty. You will either become the facilitator of self-discovery for others, or you will soon be the recipient of some teaching from them. Concentrate on the acquisition of knowledge and wisdom. You may be called upon to arbitrate, and that's why I like to communicate with you lot, because you always come out with things that I don't think of. So if anything in here shouts to you, let me know. And you may be called upon to arbitrate in a conflict, so you don't lose your patience, or you, well, no, it says here you lose your patience. You don't have to be patient anymore. Will be mediated in the principles of wisdom. Search for the source of all things. There is mastery and skill being directed in a conscious way. The challenge is that there may be a tendency not to follow your intuition or go with your gut instinct. As a result, your creativity will be blocked. You may be blocked by fear, which is what it said today, of failure, or you may experience blockages from outside yourself. The hazel, of course, is where we get hazelnuts. It is the shrub, it's part of the birch family. I am a salmon in the pool, which is Native American for Leo of the moon. Amagan sings, I am a salmon in a pool, and the salmon is the third of the 4 sacred animals to be mentioned in Amagan's chant. The pool spoken of is the well of Segers. 6 months ago we witnessed the explosive birth of the river, and now the waters have settled down as a cooling, containing influence. Soothing away the fiery summer air, we begin to experience a subtle move towards an inward atmosphere of harvest. And that's what she is, harvest time. The hazel trees that grow at the edge of the pool mirror the ripening of nuts in our own world. These nuts are symbols of wisdom gained through knowledge, but nuts in England can also mean balmy, lonely, mentally deficient. The salmon feeds on the nuts and absorbs the magical knowledge they contain into its own flesh, so the wisdom is reproduced and passed on. In our realm, we realise that the passage of time will provide hindsight, which will allow us to understand our actions as we work at our own personal harvest. Our experiences are ripening in our memory, and we are slowly beginning to understand the significance of them. So hindsight is a wonderful thing. We now may realise that whatever happened to us was a lesson to be learned, as it said in the read today. We are now able to frame those experiences into words and share them with others. So give people good advice because you've been in that situation yourself. Good advice, whether you did right or wrong, knowing where you went wrong is the good advice. Like the salmon, we take in life's lessons and transmute them in part of our own nature, and then through personal contact with our work, others will share in the deep wisdom of our experience, or not, because they always have free will. Swiftly flows the river from the mountains to the sea, or where have we had that rhyme before? The rapids as they flow teach me what they know, of strength and grace and speed, and flashing as I go. I ever learn, I grow. That's what we've got to do, is grow. Gently winds the river, through the plain down to the sea, and still and silent pool make a wise one from a fool. So stop being the fool. With depth and calm and peace, and flashing as I go, I ever learn and grow. On the earth, in the air, through the fire and the water, I am knowledge, i.e. Sagittarius, the hazel moon's daughter. So that's Demeter, and the daughter was Persephone. Not a father nor a mother was my blood, was my body. I was spellbound by Gwydion, prime enchanter of the Britons, when he formed me from 9 blossoms, 9 buds of various kinds. From primrose of the mountain grew meadowsweet and cockle, together intertwined, from the bean in its shade bearing a white spectral army of earth, of earthy kind, from blossoms of nettle, oak thorn, and bashful chestnut. So British army of spirit. 9 powers of 9 flowers, 9 powers in my combined. 9 buds of plants and tree, long and white are my fingers. So the British indigenous people as the 9th wave of the sea. The maiden was clothed in a robe of flame-coloured silk. There's the flame. About her neck was a collar of ruddy gold, on which were precious emeralds and rubies. More yellow was her head than the flower of the broom, and her skin was whiter than the foam of the wave, and the fairer were her hands and the fingers than the blossom of the wood anemone amidst the spray of the meadow fountain. The eye of the trained hawk, Sir Scorpio and Aries, the glance of the 3-hued falcon, was not brighter than hers. Her bosom was more snowy than the breast of the white swan, Sir Aquarius. Her cheeks were redder than the reddest roses. Whoso beheld her was filled with her love, for white trefoils sprung up wherever she trod, and therefore she was called Olwen. Goddesses were not quite one or the other. She is Olwen. Transformation is fleeting but pivotal. So again, we've got the transformation that we had in today. It is key in order for you to grow. She is hidden. She is secret, Persephone, and very rarely seen. She is the face that no man may look at and live. But she is also the face of change, of pain, of the ache which ensues during this healing time. She is the momentum one needs to move forward, and she is the one who comforts the dying on the battlefield. Morrigan, the one that we had today. In Gwyn's Can You Make, Song of the Horses, so again, those born in the year of the horse, there is a series of I Have Been. One of them is I have been a crane on a wall, a wondrous sight. The crane is sacred to Delian Apollo, and before Apollo to the sun hero Theseus. So Aries, Leo, 13, 11, Neil Armstrong, Buzz Aldrin. So the gods fled disguised in bestial forms, Mercury into Ibis, Apollo into the crane, and Thracian bird Diana into a cat. Mercury invented the alphabet after watching the flight of cranes. It was said by Hyginus, which is the magician, that the original 13-consonant alphabet was taken by Mercury, Gemini, into Egypt, and then brought back by Cadmus into Greece, and from there taken to Evan there and Arcadian into Italy, where his mother Cameta, an immigrant maybe, Carmenta, a muse, adapted them into then 15 letters of Latin alphabet. He describes this Mercury as the same one who invented athletic games, who was a Cretan or of Cretan stock. In Egypt he was Thoth, and the god symbol was a crane like Ibis, who invented writing and was reformed the calendar. The story may have been drawn from the Etruscan source, for the Etruscans were the Cretan stock and held the crane in reverence. Cranes fly in V formation, so the letter V could be important, so the characters of all early alphabets were nicked with a knife in the rind of boughs. As Hesiod wrote his poems or on clay tablets, they were all naturally angular. What material Mercury's bag was made of can be discovered in the parallel myth of Manannan, son of Lyre, the Goidelic sun hero, predecessor of Fian and Cashulian. He carried the treasures of the sea in a bag made of skin of the crane. There's also a myth of Maida, a Goidelic underworld god, corresponding with the British Arawan, Eloquence, the king of Anwen. He lived in a castle in Manannan's island of Man, and 3 cranes at his gate, where duty was to warn off travellers, croaking out, "Do not enter, keep away, pass on by." Perseus' bag must have been a crane bag, for the crane was sacred to Athena and to Artemis. Her counterparts are Diana again as Euphystus, as well as being the inspiration for Hermes, so parcel delivery, invention of letters. The flying Gorgons then are cranes with Gorgon faces and watch over the secrets of the crane bag. It is self-protected by a Gorgon head. It is not known what sort of dance the crane dance was, that according to Plutarch, Theseus introduced it into Delos, except that it was performed around a horned altar and represents the circle that coiled and uncoiled in the labyrinth. My guess is that it imitated the fluttering love dance of the courting cranes, and that each movement consisted of 9 steps and a leap. And we've got Lords a leaping tomorrow, as Polwart says in his Flying with Montgomery. And Monty was a great leader of our armies in the Second World War. The crane must take 9 steps ere she flee. The 9 steps prove the crane's sacredness to the triple goddess. There she is again, triple goddess Persephone, and so does her neck, feathered white and black with reddish skin showing through or in the case of the Numidian or Balearic crane with red wattles. Cranes make their spectacular migration from the Tropic of Cancer, so Cancer in the astrology, to the Arctic Circle and back twice a year, flying in chevron formation, with loud trumpeting at an enormous height. This must have attached them to the Hyperborean cult as messengers flying to the other world, which lies in the back of the north wind. There is also spirally danced Troy. So Helen came from crane dance in Delos because it was adapted there to the cult of the crane moon goddess. In Greece, the crane was associated with poets, so some of you may be travelling to Greece. Not only the story of Apollo's metamorphosis into a crane or a Thracian bird, but also the story written by Ibycus, the poet. Ibycus was a 6th century BC Greek erotic poet, having spent the best part of his life in the island of Samos, which was one day set upon by bandits in a lonely place called Corinth, and mortally wounded. He called upon the passing flock of cranes to avenge his death, and soon afterwards the cranes hovered over the heads of the audience in the Corinthian open-air theatre, whereupon one of the murderers who was present cried out, "Look, the avengers of Ibycus." He was arrested and made full confession. "Sir, you reap what you sow." Why is the crane in the next place? Not hard. This month of wisdom and the wisdom of Manannan Maclair, namely the Beth Lewis Neon, was warped into the crane skin. The omission of Cor, the crane, from the Irish bird Ogam for the sea month is intentional. The content of the crane bag were a close secret, and all reference to it was discouraged. At dawn you shall appear. Robert Graves also makes reference to the crane as sacred to Kali, the destroyer. At dawn you shall appear, a gaunt, red-wattled crane, she whom they know too well for fear, lunging your beak down like a spear to fetch them home again. So the homecoming and the fear. The crane is the bird of wisdom, the chevron-shaped formation of flying cranes, accredited with the inspiration of letters, and letters are the basis of all learning. The secrets and wisdom of the Celtic alphabet and calendar were said to be contained in a mythic crane bag, yet the crane is omitted from the Irish bird Ogham in the Book of Ballymote because, as Graves writes, the contents of the crane bag were a close secret and all reference to it was discouraged. The crane was especially sacred to the great ninefold goddess because of the 9 steps. Fish, salmon in particular, so eat more salmon, are associated with the knowledge. The child that grew up to be Taliesin, the wisest magician, was found in the fish weir. The significance of the salmon can be seen in many places. Gwythyr question of series of wise animals, each one wiser than the previous. The oldest and wisest of all was the salmon of Lynwen. Cuchulainn, so I always call her the turquoise skirt because I can't say her name, used the hero salmon leap across the pupil's bridge to get Scathach stronghold in order to gain access to Scathach's advanced knowledge of arms. I think they've mentioned Cuchulainn a few times, so I shall post that in the post if I remember by tomorrow. To gain the secrets, the turquoise skirt had to use the hero salmon leap to Scathach herself in order to gain the secrets reserved for her family. Each leap in the land of sorcery, so if I'm right tomorrow, the 9 leaps brought greater knowledge. Their wisdom can also be passed on by eating the magic salmon gain, so salmon and nuts. The power of wisdom by consuming the hazelnuts that dropped into sacred springs. So hazelnuts and salmon, we've got to eat more of them apparently. By symbolically eating the salmon of wisdom, Demne gained such enormous wisdom that he was renamed. And I don't like salmon, so I won't be eating it. Agates are grounded stones that can help you find a better place between your physical and emotional aspects. Agate energy works to rise the consciousness, allowing us to accept ourselves and gain self-confidence. What do they say? Acceptance today. Agate's ability to boost your self-confidence manifests itself as courage. Today's card. It can give you the ability to tackle projects and situations that might otherwise seem beyond your abilities. Through this gate, agate promotes wealth, good luck, and generally a more prosperous life this year. The grounding energies are calming and soothing to the emotions, and this can be a stabilizing influence, leading to greater sense of harmony in your life. Its soothing influence can help you examine and cope with potential problems without undue emotional distractions. It's closest tied to earth energies, wearing agate or carrying it can give you greater appreciation of nature in all its varied forms. Physically, the energies of agate promote overall health. They are said to help reduce the stress that is a big factor in many physical ailments. This might be why agate was thought to increase strength and longevity. Olwen, the maiden, was clothed, we've just said that, in a red cloak with emeralds and rubies, and her hair was yellow. Sophia, a cup of wisdom to you. It is a time to connect with your own deep intuitive wisdom. Sophia asks you to take time and stillness and meditate, to listen to what needs to be heard. Sophia reminds you that only you have the truth within. Perhaps you feel you are in a situation that you need guidance for. Have you been here before? So just repeating what they said today. You've been in this situation before. You should know what worked and what didn't. If it didn't work, do the opposite. When you take the time to listen to your own inner Sophia, you will gain what you need for your journey to well-being. Suggested ritual. Go to the quiet place where you will not be disturbed for around 30 minutes. Have a soft, relaxing music or not, depending on whether you like it or not, playing if possible. Close your eyes and see yourself walking along a country path. So it's guided meditation, this one, which turns into a forest. As you walk along the forest path, feel the dampness of the air, smell the trees, and hear the many sounds of the ancient forest. The path will suddenly end, and you arrive at an enormous wooden door of a castle. There is a large Gothic knocker, which you use, and the door is opened by the divine Sophia, who takes you inside to a beautiful garden and beckons you to sit with her on the wooden bench. Sophia will smile and inform you that she is your higher self. Ask her what it is you need to know. Listen to her answer carefully. Dismiss nothing and ask questions if necessary. And it might come out garbled, just like Astral DJ's song, but there will be a message in there. Look up the meaning of everything. She might say sheep, wolf, duck, and you just look up what the animal totem means. When you are complete, thank Sophia for her intuition and see yourself leave the garden back to the path into the forest. Sophia, pronounced Sophia, is Greek. Hochama is Hebrew. Serpentia is Latin. All mean wisdom. The Judeo-Christian god, female soul, source of his true power, is Sophia, a goddess of wisdom. Her faces are many: Black Goddess, Divine Feminine, Mother of God, the Gnostic Christian, Sophia of the Mother of Creation. Her consort and assistant was Jehovah. Her sacred shrine, Hagia Sophia, in Istanbul, is one of the 7 wonders of the world. Her symbol, the dove, representing spirit and peace. She is crowned by stars, a Middle Eastern icon, so indicate her absolute divinity. So divine messages. Thanks for listening. Hope you enjoyed it. Speak soon. Bye bye.